Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was listening to someone on YouTube, Jason Goodman, and he had somebody on about Q, and the guy kept going on about how he was trustworthy because he had a security clearance. I found that very weird. You're not trustworthy just because you have a security clearance. And then there was a whole bunch of things that they said that it seemed like they didn't know what they were talking about with Q. I would just suggest to them that they know what they're talking about before they start having a whole program on people researching Q. It's not just people researching the post, it's people what they do and where it leads. So I found it very odd. But anyway, this is on Zero Hedge. Pressure mounts on the FBI director to resign after Florida tragedy. The White House is probably regretting its decision not to show FBI Director Christopher Wray the door when he reportedly threatened to resign last year over the administration's push to oust now former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. In what the Bureau has called a failure of protocol, the Ray admitted that the Bureau had failed to follow up an anonymous tip delivered to one of its hotlines by somebody who knew Nicholas Cruz, the 19-year-old gunman who killed 17 people and heard demons telling him exactly how to go about this, and also there was other shooters, and wounded more than a dozen more of his former classmates in Parkland, Florida on Wednesday. Instead of being forwarded to the FBI's Miami field office, the tip was essentially ignored. And also, the FBI knew about this comment that was on YouTube, and instead they went to the house of where the person that reported the comment on his YouTube channel from a supposed Nicholas Cruz. Yet they didn't do an IP search for Nicholas Cruz. It just doesn't make any sense. And this is the second shooting now that the FBI is involved with. And, I mean, it's very clear for me to see, but they are involved in some very bad things. They are targeting the American people. They're complicit in the cover-up, and it's just unbelievable at this point. I mean, every American, no matter what your politics are, should be very angry at the FBI at this point. So they're saying that the tip was delivered to one of its anonymous hotline, or one of its hotlines, by somebody who knew Nicholas Cruz, the 19-year-old gunman who killed 17 people and wounded more than a dozen more of his former classmates in Parkland, Florida on Wednesday. Instead of being forwarded to the FBI's Miami field office, the tip was essentially ignored. And now nearly 20 people, most of them teenagers, are dead. On January 5th, a person close to Cruz called an FBI tip line, warning them about the 19-year-old's behavior and warning them he might try to carry out a school shooting. They also discussed his expressed desire to kill people, his erratic behavior, and disturbing social media posts. The FBI was also notified about a comment on a YouTube video posted by a Nicholas Cruz last year. And I find it very odd that all of a sudden they're saying, oh, well, we need to be able to detain you. We need to be able to do this with social media. You guys already have enough power to do your damn job. They're taking away our rights. They're taking advantage of our good nature, and this has got to stop. This has got to stop. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Excuse my language. You know when I cuss, though, I'm just angry, and this angers me. Ray said in a statement that he is committed to getting to the bottom of what happened in this particular matter, as well as reviewing our process for responding to information that we receive from the public. Just a lie. That's just a lie. That's just a bunch of lawyer talk, a bunch of crap. We have determined that these protocols were not followed for the information received by the PAL on January 5. The information was not provided to the Miami field office, which it's done automatically, by the way. So it's very weird how it didn't get relayed to the Miami office, because it's done automatically. So it's almost as if it was stopped or it wasn't passed on purposely. The information was not provided to the Miami field office, and no further investigation was conducted at that time, the FBI said in a statement released Friday. We have a bunch of traitors in the whole intelligence community. And I did a video that the first video I put out this morning was the Council on Foreign Relations. It's very interesting, these people that are tied to the Council on Foreign Relations, the people that are brainwashing America, and the companies involved in censorship. I want you to look at all the people that are involved with that. It is very suspect. The very same people that are involved with all this crap, and the intelligence community, and the media, and all the whole nine yards. It's all tied in with the Council on Foreign Relations. Isn't that unbelievable? What a coinky-dink, huh? What a coinky-dink. Yesterday, Florida Governor Rick Scott called on Ray to resign, saying the Bureau's failure to act was unacceptable and that an apology isn't going to cut it. The FBI's failure to take action against this killer is unacceptable. The FBI director needs to resign, said Scott in a statement. We constantly promote see something, say something, and a courageous person did just that to the FBI, and the FBI failed to act. see something, say something is an incredibly important tool, and people must have confidence in the follow-through from law enforcement. The FBI director needs to resign, Scott added. Well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with see something, say something. We have a bunch of traitors. See something, say something. They just implemented that to make it a snitch society. They do what they want. We need people. We need good people. We need patriots. We need people for the American Constitution in these places of, in the intelligence community, in high office. These traitors are taking down our country. They're targeting the American people, and this has got to stop. I mean, this has got to stop. President Trump, do something about this. I mean, I can understand. How are you supposed to do something if you have all these traitors in a high office without completely seeming like you're they're gonna use the media to shift it on you that you're completely acting like a dictator or whatever. But at this point, it's a national security issue. It's been a national security issue for a long time. But you have the media spouting this stuff. I always said this is a national security issue with the media. They can't be up there doing this brainwashing and basically taking us into civil war or trying to convince people that there's a civil war coming or whatever. It's just unbelievable. They need to do something. You guys need to do your jobs. We elected you to represent us. You guys are leaving us out hanging. The intelligence community is leaving us hanging. And don't get me started on all the fishy things that I think is going on with this shooting down in Parkland, Florida. Sure as hell isn't just a kid. Oh, it's a troubled kid that took a gun to school. It really seems like he was provoked into this, and he was also helped. And wow, the FBI sure does a lot of these provoking and things like this. We've seen this in the past, from the Oklahoma City bombing to the cover-up with 9/11 to all the other shit. We constantly promote see something, say something. Yeah, whatever. 17 innocent people are dead, and acknowledging a mistake isn't going to cut it. An apology will never bring the 17 Floridians back to life or comfort the families who are in pain. The families will spend a lifetime wondering how this can happen. An apology will never give them the answers they desperately need. Florida officials, including Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Deutsch, criticized the FBI's inaction. And already conservatives are pointing out the irony that Special Counsel Robert Mueller's indicted 13 Russians yesterday, allegations that the Russian government has called absurd and will almost certainly not result in the imprisonment or prosecution of a single individual, while the Bureau appears to be ignoring potentially life-saving tips. Conservatives, including Ann Coulter. Last September, FBI was sent a screenshot of a comment by Nicholas Cruz. I'm going to be a professional school shooter. Unfortunately, the FBI was busy running down Clinton campaign leads about a non-existent Russian conspiracy with Trump. And I just have to say, I don't even know if this was Cruz. This could have been the feds planting this evidence, so they have this evidence. Oh, there's a professional shooter. Oh, it was all Cruz. You know, there's probably a reason why they're ignoring it. I believe the FBI is involved in this up to their neck, just like the Las Vegas shooting, which we still want answers on, which they're not providing. You have LVMPD just being completely dodgy. You have the FBI completely dodgy, completely suspect. This has got to stop. They're targeting Americans, ladies and gentlemen. What about if that was your kid that went to that school that died? You'd sure look at this a whole different way, wouldn't you? This pisses me off. Pisses me off. You have good people doing the right thing, and then you have these people taking advantage. This has got to stop. I'm so upset with this shit. The alleged gunman, a former student, had been expelled who was arrested a few miles away from the campus. Even Attorney General Jeff Sessions, in what New York Times described as an unusually harsh rebuke of a sitting FBI director, said the Bureau technically raised Boss, who, in a rare move, criticized the director, saying the FBI, in conjunction with our state and local partners, must act flawlessly to prevent all attacks. This is imperative, and we must do better. Per Reuters, Sessions said he has ordered a review of FBI procedures following the shooting, which is carried out with an AR-15 assault rifle purchased legally by the shooter, despite his long history of violent threats and mental instability. And as the Times also pointed out, the Bureau was criticized by Congress in 2009 for not preventing the shooting at Fort Hood, Texas. The Bureau also was aware of one of the two brothers who carried out the Boston Marathon bombing, and Omar Mateen, the shooter in the Pulse nightclub attack in Orlando. The Bureau's defenders say asking that they anticipate every attack is unreasonable and that the public will never be aware of the attacks that are foiled because of the Bureau's diligence. But in this case, the warning signs were so obvious and so plentiful that it's not just, get out of here. Get out of here. But in this case, the warning signs were so obvious and so plentiful that it's not just remarkable that law enforcement didn't take them seriously. It's downright disturbing. Excuse me. Unbelievable. Almost like you have babies at the FBI. Oh, you don't know what we do for you. Well, I sure as hell know that you're complicit in this somehow, some way. I don't know what level, but you are complicit. All the things that they should have done, all the protocols, all the transferring to the field offices, everything was stopped or blocked. You just have too many red flags in this case. Unbelievable. We need our representatives to do something. This has got to stop.